Alright, then, for the epilogue of the final chapter of Toluca Sabbat. All of you feel the cave start to rumble, and you head on out through, I assume, one of the exits you found. So, gentlemen, you are running to not be buried. Who's leading the way?
Yay! Marcus is the furthest away. On the other hand, yes, celerity.
Can someone feed me blood so I don't fall behind and die? Because...
Estelle is half carrying you then.
Okay.
She just grabs you.
Connor grabs.
Marcus gets back to them. Marcus will get at them really quick. Want me to make an athletics roll? I have Swift.
If you spend a dot of celerity, you can make it back to them as they're starting to head down the tunnel.
Works for me.
So, who is leading the way? I'm gonna say it's Estelle and Robert, probably, because they're closer and they least delay. In, you know, grabbing each other. And she's buffed to high heaven. Still.
Yeah.
So, Jackalot, roll perception awareness at 8.
What's this perception?
Perception awareness at 8. Okay.
I don't have awareness.
That's fine. Right. You both feel it, a cold tingle on your skin. Still just, I think she would have running towards... God damn it, no, she has less intelligence than that. It's a 7 dice pool. Fuck! Starts pushing forward. Dragging you along. Jackalord, make a willpower roll. At 8.
Okay.
You want 6 successes for the ward versus ghouls.
I just spend one more blood point on there. Do it cuts the ghoul.
Okay, what are you spending it on? Okay, it doesn't matter. Assume that it's on healing. Because you need to soak for 2 points of bashing.
I'm assuming armor doesn't count for this.
No.
More of a mystical punch to the gut.
Yeah. We're gonna say that Estelle knows enough about... Yep, you take 2 points of bashing. But Estelle just pushed you ahead and said, "Spend the blood, go!" She's struggling against the barrier. At this point... Yeah, at this point, Connor and carrying Georgia is there, and Marcus is right behind them. You're all at the ward as Robert starts stumbling ahead. Just, damn it! Just, you see the electricity just sort of crackling across her skin as she pushes her way through. Okay, I'm through, go! Come on! Just waving you forward. So, both of you need willpower at 8 rolls. To force your way through. Not for you, Steel. You are just gonna be taking some damage because you're essentially being forced through it despite the thing. So, for you, it doesn't matter because you're in torpor anyway, essentially. And yes, you both just... Yeah, you both just pop through. And you are going. Apparently none of you get fucked here.
Come on, we can do this.
You are running and running and running. You head on up and eventually, well, the earth is still rumbling, but somehow, you know, you feel the stair collapse behind you as you are stepping off of it, and then it's slowly subsiding, strangely enough, and quickly enough you find an exit, because this looks like a place that, you know, it's almost like a dwelling place, but the caves, once you get up here, are relatively straightforward, and you can just follow the smell of vegetation to the outside. And there waits one last challenge, the poisonous thorny plants that the demon summoned a while back to guard this way in.
Guard them.
You just want to push your way through them?
Me.
So they're just all around here, right?
Yes, they are. Does anyone have survival?
I do.
I want to have burn them all.
Bacon, you have survival, right? You
Yeah.
can pick out a place where there's sort of a path, and you're starting to get feeling that maybe the demon just commanded the plants to let his followers through.
Yeah.
Does that include? Actually, would that include Bill's character?
Georgia. Yes.
It was a conscious decision on the demon's part to make them part. So, since he's not there to give the command anymore, not anymore they won't. They might have previously. But,
So I have
So-
a question.
I have a perception survival at for a total of 8 dice. So
yeah, you can make your way through. We're just gonna assume that the gangrel, you know, she just sighs deeply, just looks at Robert. Fine, just picks him up, forces her way through the vegetation, cutting a path.
Like a tractor.
alright.
You might take 1 or 2 points of lethal following along from the remaining thorns, but you're able to get through, and eventually you're back at the pit where your cars still await your return. It's weird, really. It hasn't been that long. Assuming someone has a watch glancing over, it looks like you still have at least a good hour and a half towards dawn, I think. Plenty of time to make it to a safe place. So, yes. Heading over to the car, the woman is lying back in the back seat, and strangely enough, there seems to be a whole lot of brain matter over the window, and a tiny bullet hole where it went through the passenger window.
Weird.
She just turns around and looks you in the face. Hi, Marcus. Well, I kind of had to repair a broken brain. I don't think she could take everything that was going on, and what with the werewolves and all, her mortal brain, it was filled with terror. Oh, Jesus Christ, it took so much effort to repair this.
Oh! It's good to see you again.
You're gonna want to wash this car, I think, Marcus.
I think so too. Okay. There's one thing left that we really need to see about going over then. First of all, it's dead. I killed it.
Yeah, that was well done, Marcus. I would have preferred without that black fire, but that was well done.
Really needed to test out if I had a way to do it without the sword, just in case. Turns out it did. Worked real well.
Well, that was mostly for killing its spirit. Once you got it out, I didn't want it getting away and coming back, obviously.
Yep, it's not. It's very, very gone. Alright. So, what are you going to do? Not talking to him, I'm talking to, certain elder here.
Just looks at the two of you. Looks at Riedal. You'll keep him in line. Riedal just nods slowly. Just says, Okay. Just walks off towards some shrubs and starts tearing off her
And
clothes.
tentacles. Spend willpower on it.
Yes!
You fucking
Now?
cunt!
Really?
No, it's
What
it's
the heck is
obvious. She's keeping her there for Connor to go to Golconda. You know, it's obviously that.
Yep. Don't
How
worry,
does
I'm not
Connor
really
feel
going
watching
to
this?
kill her or anything yet.
What?
There is a reason for this.
Uh-huh.
And there's a reason that, yeah, I did tell you it was warring in his mind on what to do here. So it's not like this was really, like, particularly planned.
Yeah. How does everyone react to this? Namely,
I am
Robert and what's his face, Connor. Connor, how do you feel about him grabbing her like this?
Did you just ask Marcus? What are you doing?
At the same time, Riadal just goes, Marcus, no!
She is... Look, we don't know exactly where she's going to go or exactly what she's going to do. I just want to find out if she has any chance of, you know, sending certain people at us that we really don't want.
By the
Look,
time you're done
she-
talking, she has misted and reformed away from tentacles. Don't fucking try that again. If you want to talk, ask!
Yes, I want to talk because I don't know exactly what you are going to, you know, do. I was actually going to see if you wanted to stay around so we could make sure that nothing particularly was going to happen. I wasn't going to ask for, like, worshipping Riadal or any bullshit like that.
I have
But
people
I'm
I'm
not
responsible for. I need to go for at least a few days and then I might come back. But I need to go now. I have mortals in my care.
Let me roll for her on this.
Okay.
That's so 10, and it is particularly just to see if he can tell. Not the mortals part. She totally probably does, but
Mhm.
if she'll actually come back, and you know possible connotations of what she means by come back
Uh-huh. Alright.
with Inquisition, with Camarilla, putting people on dread names lists, that kind of shit.
Okay, roll
Difficulty?
perception, empathy. This is contested versus a secret roll, so 6.
Okay, and I do have Auspex on, but I don't think that matters on this
Yeah,
one because I don't got
for
enough.
that you need to have essentially multiple levels of it because you're not watching one thing.
Only 3.
Yeah,
Not 3.
it's hard to
Oh.
tell, but you get the feeling that she doesn't trust you, but she might be willing to trust Riadal. Especially considering that line about keeping you in line.
Okay, if that's the case, Marcus wouldn't be able to try and kill her. It's to go.
Mm-hmm.
All
Are we
right.
done?
Yes, we're good. Sorry.
It's fine. I get it. You've probably been hunted your whole life. Just sighs, finishes taking off her clothes and just shifts to a wolf. Starts running.
There.
And that was the end.
Ah,
Yay.
So, as a eventually when the cult starts learning about this victory, Riadal's church adopts the symbol of a flaming sword grasped in a fist, just held aloft, and proceeds to develop its first worship rituals in the
So,
coming weeks.
See,
Uh, So
Just-
I would like to actually point out that my bearing modifier will make it easier to make a cult of all things.
It's probably going up.
So, speaking of which, Marcus, a conviction roll to gain even more.
No! Nope! I've rolled it too many times! It's
No.
impossible!
No!
No.
Roll it!
Watch! Watch! It'll botch! It'll fucking... Nope. It didn't botch.
Yes.
It didn't fail. Good! Good. Fucking stay at 8. Heck, go lower! You piece of shit! Finally failed!
You know, one of those nights when you're holding a sermon, you, with your new aspects, just notice a vampire just casually walking through the aisles and just whispering in people's minds, and you can just tell just how their emotions are increased and how their fervor is raised when he does this.
Oh! Welcome, Satan!
Yes!
He just casually meets your eyes and nods at you as if you know each other perfectly.
Marcus is totally gonna be confused by this. What the fuck?
Oh my god, 2 of his characters are working to help Riada. What the fuck?
So eventually, Robert does finally get to do his glorious, glorious thing and do the shady bullshit and lawyering to hide things. A couple of days after the battle, a first priest, Satan would be a second one that shows up, and he more or less comes in secret while seeing to other duties when he can. A young neonate that apparently Carlos invited here to re-establish proper Sabbat protocol.
I am actually going to consult with Riadal and see if he would prefer being a Camarilla city or a Sabbat city.
Riadal tells you to just fucking kill the Sabbat. They're all monsters. He has seen enough.
That's kind of what I figured. So that priest is going to mysteriously disappear as well.
Yeah, Estelle eventually comes back, and, somehow her presence and declaring her support for the new prince is enough to establish a great deal of legitimacy very quickly for the new Camarilla stronghold behind Sabbat lines. And a couple of packs try to roll in, but considering the combat power at your disposal, they are quickly routed as they attempt to retake this place.
And we know the werewolves will be here one day, but we have enough time to get plenty of silver for it.
Actually, the werewolves do show up relatively quickly, but it's more along the lines of Estelle reporting that she has seen tracks in the forest near the mines, and after a while they stop coming. Apparently, they were satisfied with what they discovered there.
Good to know.
As far as Georgia is concerned, what was your path rating? I think I set you at 5 for that.
Yes, and I don't have a master, so I will probably default to Riadal.
Yes.
You would once you woke up. However,
Yeah.
at 5, it's like a year, I think.
Isn't there like people that could wake you up?
Yes, but Estelle would consult with Marcus as her rightful prince, of course, as to whether this one is worthy of being woken.
In private, totally go. Yeah, don't worry about it.
And she will humbly bow to the will of the wise leader. Eventually,
Rude.
she
Already
probably
underpassed.
tries to occupy a position of seneschal, doing much of the day-to-day business of ruling and smoothing things over with her more experienced political nature.
To be more exact, I actually just left it up to her. I was like, yeah, do whatever you want. It's all good.
She has enough aspects to sense the corruption on Georgia. she will just leave Georgia and make sure that someone is watching her, so she's informed the moment she wakes. But Georgia would sleep well for a year, and at that point Gehenna is more or less there. And
Motherfucker! Come on! Like, dude, no! Come on!
if you are
Bullshit.
interested in it, Jackalor, she would adopt you as her ghoul, though, and try and teach you how to handle the world of politics while retaining some semblance of a soul. What little of it you have, you fucking lawyer.
Oh my god! I like how.
I'll take it.
Meanwhile, as far as Connor's search for Golconda goes, over the coming year until Gehenna hits, she does teach him, and as far as the ritual to transcend goes, he would undertake that more or less as the Tremere and Springfield are triggering Gehenna. So if we do an after Gehenna and you choose to go with Connor, we're gonna work out the details of that. And that would,
Nice.
we would, figure out later whether he succeeded or failed on that. But he would get the chance to attempt it.
So Robert ends up being like, what?
A ghoul to a 7th gen.
If you agree to
Yeah.
switch over to her, you are a ghoul to
yeah.
a 7th gen, yes.
I can totally agree with that.
And
Of
she
course,
will
he-
even eventually teach you things like, dominate or presence or aspects, things that could help you.
I'd probably take aspects over.
Yeah, a
Presence,
ghoul with
yeah.
aspects too is very valuable.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually I don't think Satan is the only one, so I would say that probably eventually, much to the consternation of several people here, the city does end up with Malkavian as the most numerous clan, by far. Bruja, strangely enough, with their violent tendencies, are not very tolerated here, so they barely have a presence. The Nosferatu eventually find a hole in the sewers where apparently someone had left a few of the more traditionally minded traps, and they speculate amongst themselves about the lost Nosferatu civilization that used to be here at one point.
Oh, yes. Yes.
A couple of months
So-
in, you do get some attention due to the fact that some people would be able to detect you working on bringing Webtoon back. And, eventually you would succeed, despite a few upsets. And, with the access to Bebrak, you can make a lot of cool shit, so you have a strong town. The biggest problem is getting that initial in on the Tremere because they're so damn insular, but eventually you would succeed, and once you had them corrupted, you would start spreading this slow, tiny tendril of influence through the chantries as people got transferred in and out.
Oh.
So,
So is
I got a -2 on corrupting and talking to people if I'm corrupting them at the same time. So, yeah, that makes sense.
do you know how I was able to defeat the Sabbat and the werewolves, Neonate? Let me tell you a tale. While the mask just glints like, wait, what was that? Is there something on your face, my prince?
No? Oh,
Did you ever heard of the tale of Dark Glacius, the wise? It's not something the Camarilla would tell you. It's just a bad legend.
right.
It's a Sabbat legend. It's more like it's a Bali legend.
Yeah.
It's not.
true.
It's not
It's a
something
Bali
that. It's not something. Have you heard the tale of Rieta the Brave? It's a Bali legend. It's not something that Tremere would tell you.
Oh my god! Oh.
On my Nice! I am the Sombra. It completely passes. Yep.
You
Totally
know,
the Sombra, don't worry.
I would say that eventually, through the combined help of all these superpowers, at some point, a 7th gen La Sombra would show up to kill you as an attribute asshole, and you would get your 7th gen.
Yay!
And at that point, the Sabbat are like, oh shit, I guess he's a real La Sombra after all. Okay.
Fair enough.
Just this tiny flag of the Shadow Clan, like, nope, we're the True Clan, bitch! Just this tiny yet unconquerable middle finger to the whole Sabbat establishment.
And then, at some point, after, like, so I have a question. How would Georgia even be treated once she wakes up?
With a great deal of suspicion because you stink of corruption.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, but would I be like brought back to Riadal or marked or some shit?
You would be in their
You'd be-
city, you would be essentially in the Prince's vaults at that point.
Yeah, you'd probably be bloodbound to fucking
Remember
Marcus or
that
something.
vault that Jackalor's first character had? That's where they keep the dangerous and secret shit. They rebuild the manor, I think. I think that's like the best seat of power this campaign could ever have. That becomes the Prince's palace.
Jackalor, I've taken over your former mansion. It's mine now.
Fully taken over.
And so things come full circle.
You losing your
It's meant to
mansion
be a place
always.
of rulership.
Yes,
It's all-
Alexander's secret library. That's where the vault is.
Yeah.
So at some point I get proceduralized to Riadal.
Not necessarily. And you would go down in path rating. Well, you would have a chance to go down in path rating simply because you lost your master immediately.
Yeah, so like what?
Yeah, you can give me a conviction roll if you would go down to 4.
And I am still cursed. It never lifts.
No, that part never goes away.
Yeah.
At 8,
The-
right?
Make sure you do note it on your character. You are cursed, with all 2s being as if they were 1s.
I did.
Yeah.
It is literally in my flaws.
Your
Okay,
conviction
yeah.
is 4.
The rest of you took a lot of corruption, and after the collapse of the game, you do experience similar effects, but for you, they wear off after a month or 2.
Yeah.
But for
I was
him, it
literally
is
embraced
permanent.
with them.
Yeah. Yes, it
embraced
settled
with-
into your bones still.
Oh fuck.
Yeah, because I brought you back both after you had died and a while after you died, as
Yeah.
well as, you were brought back in the blood of many cultists.
Yeah.
You're baptized in blood, of course.
So I
Hey,
think that covers most everything as to what happens afterwards. You do have this valuable in the form of Satan, who just knows when to show up and avoid notice well enough that he can act as a spy and feed you information and something
He's an
horrible is done.
insane spy! You made Satan into a spy for Riadal. Oh my god, he's insane that way.
Yeah, he would have been
You
the
do
one to
remember I
tell
got him
you.
the combo discipline. Yeah.
He would have been the one to tell you that a Sabbat La Sombra Elder is planning to... he has had a tip about the courts of blood being convened about Marcus and someone getting permission to go eat him,
Jeez.
I didn't.
Marcus has Auspex and Obfuscate. He has Dominate, but he doesn't really care too much for it. Obtenebration, Potent, Celerity. Didn't get Fortitude.
For
Also-
eating that Elder because of how successfully this campaign ended, I will let you spread like 3 dots somewhere as you end this character. In something that, the La Sombra Elder could have conceivably had. So something like Dominate or Auspex or Obfuscate or whatever. You can place 3 dots in some of the disciplines you have at the very least. Throw at
Hey.
you.
I think in that case he actually. What was Obtenebration 3 able to do?
But then-
6.
Obtenebration 6 there was several variants. One was Shadow Step, where you can just duck out of a shadow like 50 feet away. Let me check
That
some of
is
the others.
amazing.
Darkness Within, that's kind of meh. I remember that sucking. And Aegis of Shadow, which allowed you to get extra armor. I think.
That's not bad at all.
Yeah,
But-
Aegis of Shadow is great, especially.
Yeah, I would say that Shadow Step is probably the most likely, because it seems like a pretty common one, but you can
No,
petition
I'd go
for
with Shadow
different.
Step.
Yeah. So yeah,
I'll
in
just
that,
put it there and get a Shadow Step. So.
yeah, in that case, yes, you would have just gotten mastery of Obtenebration there.
Wait, so you are at 3 natively, took 3 more, and you can relocate your packed one if you want.
If I want to. That thing was meant for an emergency kind of shit. So
Yeah,
I'm
Riadal
probably-
is okay with you being super awesome, but he would like to have at least a trickle coming from you because, you know,
Totally.
just in emergency. Though at that point, the cult is giving him enough faith for the big stuff that
You're more like a token of appreciation.
Okay,
Totally.
Kraft is asking, would Satan talk insanely to Riadal while reporting, like in his riddles and shit? And I would say probably not, because he does that to the people he wants to fuck with.
This is completely true. He can talk normally.
And you wouldn't want to do that to a fire angel.
So, I think that more or less covers what has been going on. If you wanted to play Robert after Gehenna Jackalor, he would probably be... He could be embraced as part of Gehenna coming as an emergency thing by someone, but... If not, then he would have remained human.
Maybe. I don't know.
I mean,
Uh-huh.
to be fair, I would like to play Georgia's Gehenna, but she would be like unchanged. Because she was asleep and shit.
Yeah. It's weird how these things work out. But at least she's alive.
And she will lose her resources, but probably keep like the
We can
armored stuff
determine
with-
that afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
If we ever actually do an after Gehenna, which as time has gone on, I have grown less sure of, honestly.
Yeah.
Yep,
But
that's fine.
But if we do... Well, that's a separate thing. So, yeah, we've covered more or less what goes on after, so questions, especially about what was going on in the background. I'm sure you have a few.
Mm-hmm.
Holy crap, it's been more than a year, I can't believe we're actually finishing it now.
Yep.
Yeah,
It's been a ride.
it really has been.
A lot of respawns and many deaths.
So, how do you actually... I have a question for you. How do you actually feel about the theme of the game? How well did I do at showing you the chaotic, violent, and deadly existence of Sabbat soldiers?
You did great.
Very.
I remember a lot what
Great.
we were doing at the premiere game, but we were doing right this time.
Uh-huh. Like, there isn't even a rumor of what Alexander, for example, was doing, or what John Claus Doe was doing at the start, because of how violent Sabbat existence is. They have very little institutional memory, I think, because of the, way things go. And,
Didn't exactly write things down very much.
yeah, well, there's no time for that.
Yep.
Yep.
No time, no nothing. So, how was the actual external Sabbat stuff influencing the city?
Well, they had a couple of agents from stuff like Black Hand, and people reported to Carlo, and he was the one reporting back to them, but Carlo was kind of a distant dude. So, generally, not a lot. You are as long as you were doing what you were supposed to be doing, or it looked like you were, people were content to leave you alone with very mild oversight.
Mm-hmm. Can you show the actual all the like territories and shit or who they were?
For Toluca, I
Yeah.
don't have them marked anymore. Where the crater was Sally, and there was another pack at one point here. And
I mean, how much? Well, well, actually, another better question. How many cultists were there, like, prowling in the streets at the point where, like, they were the strongest?
about 100 rabid ones, like 500 to 1,000 ones of the ordinary ones that hadn't gone through the ritual yet.
Okay.
It took him time to build up a cult and do it secretly, which is partially why you were less fucked than you might have been, because he was at only 3 dots of cult, I think, at the end.
I actually have some awesome news. His any of his leftover cult is probably going to go to us, actually, pretty easily.
A lot of them are actually cast into depression, so you get maybe a third of the ones that were... sorry about the community thing, that's a fuck up, and... Sorry, that's Twitch settings, Craft, don't worry about it. Too late now. Yeah, that's a fuck up, that's left over from when I was playing Redemption, don't worry about it. But... yeah, you would get about a third of the ones that got depressed and had to search for something. A lot of the normal ones. Some of them would be willing to listen to you, but at this point it sounds a lot like religious warfare, so not a lot of them are willing to get into that craziness after all they've seen, and for the most part people are happy to pretend that this never happened. And supernatural doesn't exist once Masquerade starts to reassert itself. And strangely enough, you notice that it's happening... well, you actually would have questioned a couple of people with Dominate, or Estelle would have, and a lot of them, after a while, can't even remember a lot of events that everyone knew about. It's almost like some outside forces cleaning up the Masquerade mess for you.
Sweet.
Technocracy.
Might be a mind control satellite in orbit, yes.
How close were they from just? How close were the technocracy from just nuking the place?
The moment there was... if there was a last supernatural standing that they couldn't live with, they would have nuked the place. But it was like a last resort. Because that's a lot harder to wipe from memory.
Yep.
So, once you start trying to reassert control, they let you. But, yeah, that was essentially... it wouldn't have... Kuedar wouldn't have been able to consume the whole world. Eventually, the technocracy would have just stopped him with overwhelming force. They just didn't want to.
Because, you know, using overwhelming force is always an option, but it's also usually the option you don't want to use in World of Darkness.
It's like the option that you leave for when everything else has failed and you don't want to fuck with them anymore.
Yeah, honestly, with as many cultists as survived, generally speaking, it wouldn't have been enough for Kuedar to use them as a collective reliquary, because that was his plan, to just go full hive mind, and if his caves ever got nuked. But luckily, you had killed so many of them that he wouldn't have been able to do that, but they would have worked towards his resurrection and kept spreading if his spirit had survived.
Yep, it's gone though. So, we're good.
Yes.
We're really good.
Yes, yes. Yes, you had 43 crazed cultists left, and all the rabid ones were based in the caves when you went there. So, there's about 40 of them left. The ones that counted.
Cool. So essentially, we can just probably murder all of them. Don't surrender.
I'll be honest. When we go over Riedal's stuff, I've already been doing that just so for future reference if it ever comes up. While he's Prince and all this bullshit, took away one of the faith points that was being used, removed a bunch of the stuff, put only 1 willpower in, and he has 1 in subterfuge, which gets him up to 4, and the subterfuge is going to be the long con.
Mm-hmm. That's fine. Just
That
keep in
makes all
mind
the
that
sense.
one willpower is committed to the mask all the same. Because I'm assuming
Yep.
you are wearing that all the time.
Totally.
Yeah, so considering that it molds itself to you and clings to you, there's a chance that that is one artifact you might actually still get to keep after Gehenna, if we ever play that. And yeah, so that's so far for the cultists. Any other questions?
Um, so, yeah, Satan has that combo discipline right at the end that I never got to use,
The pattern
but
thing?
he did get it. Yeah. That's why I'm saying he would make an insane bloody spy, because you'd probably switch some of his stuff with like dangerous sense and stuff, right? We were talking about that.
We're gonna assume that we did. Yeah.
Yeah, he, if you remember what that did, it literally let him spend a turn, and he got to add all the
I
successes
remember.
from that
Yes.
roll. Yeah.
Well, you got to add it as an extra dice on a thing, I think.
No, it was actually successes. Automatic
I'm
successes.
sure it wasn't. Surely not. I'm gonna look it up. Keegan is asking whether I ever
Sure.
told you about the prince in Rome actually not being a Malkavian and being the actual prince, and I did.
Totally. I was disappointed.
Yes, I explained to him just how that, how that made
how-
sense.
Did we ever ask how many survivors there were in Rome?
No, I don't
Here we
believe
go.
you did. I can open up the Rome folder if I can find it. Most of the Toreador left, including Quintia. Like 4 of them got out, according to this. Homer and then died, Denise and then died. I think most of the Ventral left because they didn't join in the actual fighting.
Yeah.
The Bruja got slaughtered, some of the Nosferatu got away. Okay, they got fucked, I think. Actually speaking, like 10 or so vampires got out.
That's not many.
It wasn't a huge city,
Wow.
but yes, a lot of them did die. That was a huge battle at the end, and the people that didn't join it were the ones that generally got away. Those were essentially the ones you, through your talking, managed to convince to not join in.
And we did a full-on clan. I'm not sure how many members there were, but we convinced one clan to just leave.
That's the Toreador.
Those were the Toreador. 2 of
Yeah.
them that really liked humans and wanted to protect them still joined in the fight, but most of them just picked up and left. Yes.
Cool.
Combo
So just
discipline.
Rome still remains Sabbat, or does it get purged again?
Rome remains a Sabbat base, and eventually the Sabbat just pretty quickly realized how strong the city has suddenly become with a couple of very competent people just, well, a turncoat and a competent elder just settling in here. So they turned to using Rome as their main staging ground and just focus on containing Toluca. And Satan is probably the one that makes sure the initial assault on Springfield stalls out. Just short of really wrecking the center of town, that just consuming the Nosferatu territory.
Mm-hmm.
Probably.
Probably. I did manage to save fucking. I did actually manage to save Bob the Dark, right? Like he got out of the city.
I think Bob did get out, yes. Yeah, I found
Yeah.
it just there. No, it does say
did
automatic
manage to get out, though.
successes.
Hmm?
No,
What?
Epic was right. It is automatic successes.
But yeah.
Never
So,
mind.
yeah,
So yes, I recall Bob getting out. The werewolves at that point weren't patrolling around there, so he was able to, at that point just go.
Yeah. We didn't stop him or anything. No one even actually met Bob that survived. I don't think so.
Yeah, he's the lost civilization of Nosferatu that was fucking around in the sewers, like almost from the start of Toluca. I think Morbius survived for a bit after meeting him, but he ran and shat his pants, so
Yep.
I never talked about it, I think, after just initially meeting up with you again.
I don't remember him doing so. He mentioned meeting something in the sewers, but he didn't actually see it. So.
Yeah, just a pair of eyes, and then the pipe is exploding around him, claws flashing. No! Run! So yes, Bob did get out. Bacon.
My tentacles are strength 10. Yay.
So Bacon, do you perchance have any thoughts?
How bad would it be if Kim Sir did not fucked up all the time ago and got the priest of the from the demonic guys killed?
Well, that bitch was actually very powerful and a big part of their pack. You weakened them significantly by doing that.
Good to know that it was useful somehow. And I got 7 dead characters. I think it's a new record.
Holy shit!
Yeah, honestly.
Bacon lost a character almost every 2 months.
So, honestly, them losing that La Sombra made them very cautious about when Koedar risked his vampires. He utilized them way less because of that, and it slowed him down because he was very cautious about risking them.
cool.
That altered his operating procedure a whole lot, because up to that point he was willing to use them just like, yay, Sabbat, I have vampires, fuck yes. Oh. Well, she's gone now. I don't know what to say. I mean, how could this happen?
That's what Quadar was asking almost the whole time. How could this happen? For just like that last week of his existence, it was just, how could this happen?
This wasn't meant to happen. This was not meant to be the way.
He's not meant to think sanely, honestly. He's a fucking earthbound.
Yeah.
Different rules apply.
So, one of our characters finally made Prince.
On
Technically,
a throne of skulls, you sit as prince. Yes, you made prince.
I mean, he's going to last. He lasts longer than spins than fucking Nietzsche's character, Malik.
I'd say this is a pretty strong Prince, yeah. I'd say that.
Nietzsche died like the next session after getting Prince, or something.
If he hadn't gotten the gangrel killed, he would have had a chance. Him getting that would-be gangrel sheriff/elder killed, that cost him the one alliance that could have put him on competing level.
Yeah.
That was the biggest strategic fuck-up in his bid, I think. Other than making it in the first place.
Yeah. Drimir don't make it expenses.
I mean, they can, but...
Yeah. You're going to be opposed by everyone all the time because...
It depends on Tremere. Okay, but any
so-
more questions about Toluca?
Were there explosives inside the mansion by the Camarilla forces?
the explosives that the Camarilla forces had.
The werewolves
At
took them.
Yeah, at what point are you talking about? Because their supplies were
Only-
seized by the werewolves after they took the
Yeah,
mansion.
assumed as much. That's where they got all the
Yeah,
explosives
those
from.
are literally the Camarilla explosives. They did not come with their own.
Yeah, okay.
They took and
Yeah,
used
sure,
what the
that's
camp brung.
So yeah, I'm assuming the werewolves viewed the whole assault on Kuadar as a honorable sacrifice afterwards. That
Yeah,
surely
pretty.
that which got done.
Yeah, they made an epic poem about the last charge of Evenhand and his glorious sacrifice. It has very little truth in it, but they believe it wholeheartedly. He had a whole lot of honor and glory posthumously, as did everyone that went with him.
Yeah.
He died as a true wolf should, fighting for Gaia and winning.
But
Yeah,
improved
totally.
werewolves
You
were
won.
just blood back.
We never did embrace him.
Dude, his body was burnt to black and mush.
Yeah.
And then it
sadly.
caved in. There wasn't a moment to grab him.
I know.
But it's alright. They're all dead. My revenge is had.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that vengeful does not go away. Somehow there's always seems to be ghouls just shotguns loaded with silver buckshot, looking suspiciously at every shadow. One day they'll return and I'll be ready. There's just, a week spent in the woods just trying to track down the ones that were scouting the pit.
Yes, exactly.
They're around here somewhere. I can smell them.
Guys, this is a great ending.
It is.
It really
Happy
is.
ending.
So I
Different
have a
from
question. What about Riadal?
So he just sits in the shadows gathering power, and the trusted people on occasion go on secret missions to quote-unquote hurt the Sabbat. About half of those are out to kill Riadal's enemies in the court. At one point there's a moment with him just, Thomas pointed at the head of a tyrant, going, "Who's the worthless human-loving bitch now?"
I made my point clear.
So yeah, there are certainly confrontations there, and the settling of old scores. Also, Steel, that is absolutely horrible when you're speaking from your phone, for fuck's sake.
But still. Why at all time? Now of all times.
Yes, this is supposed to be an epic conclusion.
I am glad to fuck everything up.
You should have added a burning heart so I could start exclaiming Roller.
Well, guys, the last characters you made lived at least.
Yeah. It never happened.
Leave the.
Hey, mine survived just fine.
So let's count Jackalors. Dead. 1, 2. No, that's one of Bacon's. That's one of Demi's. That's another one of Demi's. No. Another one of Bacon's. That's one of Jackalor's, so I think 3. Jesus. No, I think Bacon has to have the record. There's no way it has to be his. And you kept the witch with you. Right? In the school basement. One last detail. When you came back, she was gone. But a couple of days later, your cult was contacted, and some of the Kuedar's ex-cultists, just gave her back. There was no point to it anymore.
Uh,
So yes, it's up to you. What do you do with the, torpid bitch monster from hell?
First, I ask Riadal if there's any point in just letting her live. If there isn't,
He points out the
well, don't.
horns and makes a point about, permanent corruption.
Yeah, I don't see a reason to not kill her. So,
Yeah, then she's just executed as one of the dark forces that was clearly in this town, and you were sickened by it and by Sabbat ways in general and had to eradicate the demons in Sabbat because humanity, gods damn it, I have seen too much. I realize what the true way is now.
that's right.
A few elders raise some eyebrows at this, but mostly people just shrug and go, okay, do you need support or something? Few people send some cash, a few people send some guns. Somehow, it doesn't really make that big a difference, but you make your platitudes and thank them, A new princedom is established, all is good.
Jesus, this dead folder is huge.
I know that.
A lot of it is NPCs as well, and that's not even all of them. A lot of the ones from Rome were never added to it, so it's a good 15, 20 more on top of this. Well, Leonard is in there, Carlos is in there. Did we say that Boris died to werewolves? He might have. Not that it matters. Various incarnations of Riadal and Bebrak, because he's on his third body of the campaign now. Holy crap. All the werewolves get added to that. Oh dear.
A lot of people died in this town.
You
A
literally
lot of
have a
people
skull throne at this point.
Blood for the blood.
I mean,
Skulls for my skull throne.
at this point, it's like the War of the Roses. A minor offshoot climbs to the top because everyone else is dead.
So I think Jack has like 5 characters, I think?
Might be
Maybe?
something like that. I'm pretty sure that Bacon leads by a...
I have 5
Yeah.
characters and 1 NPC'd.
Oh yeah, which one NPC'd?
Alexander.
Yeah, I think Alexander NPC'd because Alexander is still getting tortured.
Okay, so he's basically dead.
Mm-hmm.
Effectively, yes.
I'm going to just proclaim him dead. He's not coming back from that. That's not really NPC'd. That's effectively dead.
You know,
he
after the news spreads about how Toluca was infested by demons from the very start, and once you realized you went to the Camarilla, they need someone to blame, and they demand time and again that he tell them about how this came to be, because clearly he knew, and clearly this can't happen again.
Yeah.
Poor Alexander.
They would at some point, actually, while Baltimore was weak on willpower, or with his permission, just drain enough of his willpower to mind read him and make absolutely sure he's legit. But I assume he would be willing to play along given the circumstances. Yeah, so, yeah, he would still be quite happily trucking along until Satan betrays him in the assault on Springfield and the Sabbat strategy falls apart because the gargoyle got killed.
So that's how it happened.
You know, the Malkavian just dominates someone or implants a few thoughts with aspects, and someone else just tells them that, yeah, they're not really expecting an attack there. They have intelligence that you're going to attack here. And Baltimore goes there, and there's AA guns, and it's all horribly wrong.
He ends up being, I don't know, tortured or staked or whatever.
Yeah, he's
Goes and
torpid
starts-
in a... he's probably torpid in Cornelius's chantry. Just in a basement. Where they're poking and prodding him like, does this seem tougher than average, gargoyle, to you? It does to me. What a strange mutation. We must study this further. Extract a specimen.
Ken's still alive! Ken!
Well,
Pleasance is still alive!
Pleasance, ridden by Lonnie. Yeah, she would have had to prove her loyalty fighting back the Sabbat. She would probably been there when Baltimore struck with his children. And we're gonna say that Pleasance gets fucked there.
Sure.
For lack of a better thing to wrap. I think we've, raised several things that could have happened to her, but we've never really settled on one specific thing necessarily.
Not particularly.
Yeah, with so many characters. Oh boy. Okay. More questions? Anything else someone wants to ask?
Never will regret killing Skreller.
Oh, yeah.
I will never regret killing that Bacon's fucking Giovanni.
Wow. He wasn't a Giovanni, he was Harbinger of Skull. Or no, not Harbinger of Skulls, a Nagaraja.
Yeah.
Close enough.
Oh boy.
Good gosh. That dead pile. That's huge. Not even as big as it should be either. It's fucking
Not
huge.
anywhere near as big. Oh. Holy crap. Yeah. But yeah, with your decision to actually go Camarilla and stick to it, Estelle would join because she probably feels she can do the most good here, and she wants to make sure that, you don't fuck up, and over time you would drift more towards being humane. Which raises the question, would you try to reclaim your humanity?
Me?
I'll be honest. I considered it, and I basically left it to be well, if Estelle does anything that could really convince him that it's worth trying to go for, he'd probably do it. But logically speaking, I think he feels that it's just far more useful to not have, guilt restricting his actions.
Yeah, Estelle goes more along the quietly encouraging things because she is smart enough to realize how speaking about this openly is likely to get the whole city fucked.
Yeah. So he'll probably actually just stay on the path of evil revelations.
Well, not so much evil, more like good revelations by the time that year till Gehenna is over.
This is good.
Yeah.
This is a good point. I'm going to actually rename it as Path of Good Revelation.
And your bearing isn't so much corruption as inspiration then.
Yay! May
Okay.
this character be an inspiration to all.
Just throw back your head, long locks just floating in the breeze. We shall drive out this new Sabbat invasion like we have driven out so many before. Embrace rights to the one who claims the new bishop's head.
To those of you who falter, have no fear in thy heart.
Riedal protects. Oh my fucking god. When Gehenna hits, I have a feeling that About a fifth of the city will be purged, and the rest are gonna be like Riadal protects as they fight the hordes of badness that threaten to creep in. I would say
God.
that eventually, Riadal would have, throughout all of this, converted to a more practical outlook and been like a Faustian, as opposed to a Luciferian as he started out. But at one point, I think given that Lucifer is wandering the earth, he would get a visit and eventually tell you about it.
That is awesome.
Because apparently he's doing it right, and it gives the big boss man hope that some of the Fallen might not be completely fucked.
Oh, this is amazing. So, the infernal courts and everything. So their collective pants have been browned.
Oh, you have no
Alright.
idea. Like, a couple weeks later, after you've settled in, you just take a trip through the pathways and go and visit them, just doors thrown open. Riadal strides in and just proclaims that Quadar is dead, slain forever by his efforts. You know, jaws drop, and just from the looks of face, like, how could this happen? You know, that's like, you can just see the Riadal status go like boop boop boop.
So yeah, by the way, do you remain like does fucking Robert remain with a pact to Riadal?
Yes, he's not letting you loose from that. You serve
fine.
him first and your master second, as far as Guldam goes.
Okay.
But he still doesn't mind.
Oh, guys, this is amazing. We got a bloody Gankrel Elder on Gelconda to ally herself completely with us.
You know, it's like people walk into your court and they kind of bow to you while kind of like looking at her just sitting on a seat to the side. She's just tapping her fingers on her arms with that look. These could be claws any second now. you know, just this suggestion of, you know, I might be seneschal, but I could act like a sheriff very easily, you know.
Oh,
And it does kind of throw people, because she's acting like she's, you know, using you as a puppet, but at the same time, you're not really a puppet, and people just spend so much energy trying to figure out what the actual fucking dynamic is there, for fuck's sake! Because it looks like the Elder has propped up a puppet prince, but that isn't fucking it, and it doesn't fit!
Well, you never heard of people being something friends, something
Not at that
acquaintances,
age,
something
not with a gap
enemies?
that wide!
I
Marcus
think
is
it's like,
scary. I think
Yeah.
people will learn that as they spend time around the city. Marcus is scary.
a lot.
Let me read out Estelle's discipline dots. Animalism 4, because fuck animalism, Fortitude 5, Protean 6, Dominate 5, Presence 4, and Auspics 4.
She really doesn't want to actually fight me. It would be the worst case scenario.
I mean, she doesn't have to fight you, you're on the same side.
That's right. But I was actually just, you know, saying, yeah, you're right. We definitely should. If Marcus had ever really fought her, he'd actually probably win.
Don't be so sure. She can mist form out of the tentacles and then just retreat and attack when you're least expecting it.
Sure.
And she has...
Does that prevent me from firing up her little mist cloud for insane damage.
That would help, but I think Fortitude would still apply to trying to soak that, and fire is lethal to her.
Oh yeah, fire is lethal. Forgot about that, actually.
Yes. So, I don't know. I would say that you might try and ambush her, but she has 4 aspects, which means that for immediate danger, she has a good chance of seeing it coming. It could go either way, but I would say 6-4, she would probably win eventually. Honestly.
I think she might escape. I'm not sure she could win with Princely Marcus.
About half the city is convinced that she, given her power and age, is the one actually running things as well, so
That's fine.
it would essentially mean a big civil war if that happened.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen.
Yeah, it's hard to say.
Again, it was always just if Marcus had a particular reason to kill her, he totally would.
Mhm.
That doesn't look like it's ever going to really happen, though.
Yeah, for practical considerations, she's past the point where there's an easy way to kill her. It would be a actual, campaign, really, to eradicate her. She's too old, too powerful, too experienced in a lot of ways to be easily taken out.
I don't think she could actually kill Marcus very easily either, though. I don't think
No.
she had.
She could still dominate you.
No, she
No,
can't.
Really?
she
Oh,
couldn't
yeah,
if
she
he
just
has the
wouldn't-
back running.
Yeah.
Presence is almost impossible too. So
Well, if she knows you well, then summon is at difficulty 8, which means she can succeed at it, and if she sets a good enough location, she can just have you both surrounded by flamethrowers and have you come out and meet her and then just trigger it and sit there laughing.
possibly. I suspect there's ways around that too, but
Yeah,
usually involves, noticing the flamethrowers and destroying them before they can be turned on, things like that.
Of course, that's something she can't do openly either, because then people would know. I mean, a
Oh, yeah.
general could, in theory, do it if they just kept pumping blood into Fortitude, so maybe. But yeah, you do have potents, but she has insane soaks, so it's kind of you flailing at each other.
Doing almost
Yeah,
nothing most of the time.
Yeah, except if
has
she
special markers,
lands a...
so-
If she managed to actually land a blow, the biggest problem is that it would be ag. And you wouldn't be able to heal, whereas most of what you do would be lethal to her.
But I do have tentacles. I have really strong tentacles. So
You
he'll
do.
constantly need to avoid those.
Still special
Not
markers,
necessarily. She can, in fact, just mist form out of them. The
She can,
best-
but mist form does take an amount of time. to
It
actually
takes
go around
3
and stuff.
turns, but if she spends blood points on it, it happens faster. She can make it happen instantly with 3 blood points.
Yes, I know. But the point is, it takes an action to either come in or come out of it. So,
You can still move out with tentacles.
Yeah.
yeah.
Like, the big
That's-
problem is that she can choose whether to take an engagement effectively with mist form.
That is true.
And abort out of it, and, well, essentially, as long as she has blood to run her fortitude, it's extremely difficult to off her.
Although what's hilarious is I can follow her in mist form.
You can. Though in
Remember
mist form,
form.
she can... Alright, you can, for the most part, yes.
Yeah, he has.
Hey,
like,
nice to
I think,
see
level
you.
5. Observation 5 power.
Yep.
Though he can't fly with it.
And I can still use mental disciplines, actually, in Tenebrous
I
form.
think she can also fly.
She can as well.
Oh, we both can. Hers
Yeah,
are less
it's
effective against
okay.
me, I have a feeling.
I mean, yeah.
So
probably.
a shadow and a cloud creep up on inspecting Sabbat back. One of them goes, "Hey, does that tree... Is that a... He's here!" God's fucking dead.
Oh,
You know,
jeez,
this
that's
city...
hilarious.
This city is like a, yeah, 10-foot pole, make it 12. Okay, so
Oh.
I guess we've been talking the epilogue part for, well, if we count a bit where you're getting out of minds, more than an hour now, so any questions in conclusion, something you might have forgotten, or should we wrap this up?
Not off the top of my head particularly.
Jackalor?
No, not really. As I said, I think we're done.
Bacon? Any last thoughts? Steel?
Oh God, I didn't know. Dude,
Uh,
Premier will hate my character as a
Oh.
prince.
oh.
He can
Yeah.
use Shadow Step even to go through mystical barriers. He gives no shits.
Yeah, that's why it's so fucking good.
I mean, at some point he would probably choose the immunity to fire to just raise
No, why would he? He might take Fortitude, because Fortitude is good, but that's a separate thing.
Yeah.
Steel, any last thoughts, or rather questions?
Not really. I believe you answered everything I had.
Okay, in that case I'm gonna end the video and the stream here. Thank you everyone for joining on this particular adventure, and well, I hope you'll join us for future ones, and I hope to see you then.